Okay. Whenever you go.
Don't you need to do the other thing first?
No.
She does that in post.
Mm-hmm.
Keep all this in.
Are we trying to get day drunk today? But we record these at night. Can you even have a sangria when it's not brunch? Well, today we look into that and see what's with this mix. See what the Today we look into that and see what this mixture. Okay, let's try it again.
Here. Does that help?
No, at that sounds into that sounds better.
Okay. I'm just trying to find a way to make the words flow easier on you.
All right. Are we trying to get day drunk today? We record these at night. Can you even have a sangria when it's not brunch? Well, today we look into that and see what this mixture has for us. So get some fruit and get ready to have some wine mouth as we have a drink.
Welcome to Have a Drink, the show where you learn along with us about what you drink. I'm Brittany Lee Walker.
I'm Justin Frazier.
I'm Christopher Walker.
And I'm Casey Price.
How's it going, everybody?
Hey, howdy, hey, y'all.
I just realized I wasn't reading that, but if I don't have it in front of me, everything goes to hell. It's like, it doesn't matter. I need to know that the words are there.
You need to know you have that safety net to fall back on.
I'm just like, what is wrong with me?
What is wrong
Why
with
did-
any of us?
Why'd you get a straw like that? Why didn't you get a crazy straw? If you're just gonna do it, just
Well, because all the crazy straws are like,
get the Millennium Falcon crazy straw. We have so many crazy straws because
he keeps getting them in like these
all-
birthday party
all the
treat
kids,
bags.
use crazy straws as a party favor in the treat bags.
Well, that means that Emmett can now drink alcohol. Remember, that's our rule. It's how you make a drink kid friendly.
Oddly enough, he doesn't seem to like the crazy straws that much. Like he's like, this is too much.
I don't blame him because I can't really clean them that well. So
It's a nightmare. Yeah, that's like
Have
it
you-
lends to just ickiness.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, have you given him chocolate milk through it yet? Because
no,
there's nothing as a child quite like.
he freebases that.
Not wrong, actually.
You get him a Happy Meal and you're like, all right, you shake that thing up and you peel the top off and then you just hear a look back and he's like, I'm out.
It's all gone. I don't know what happened.
And another.
So, what's been going on with you guys outside of crazy straw adventures?
I have no idea.
Buying all of the memberships and
Yeah, that's true.
annual passes to everything that exists.
We already had. Let's see. Last time we talked, we already had the museum,
Mm-hmm.
which I'd now also gotten a because Emmett and I went back. They have everybody has their own souvenir cups. Like I half expected, and maybe they do have it, and I don't know, but I half expected the museum to have a popcorn bucket. I'm like, is this just a requirement? at this
Oh
point?
man, I would love a popcorn bucket for a museum.
Right. Well, and especially this one, because they could just shape it like the halls of justice, the building, and like everyone would buy that. Everyone. But it is
Get
they
that.
do have a
Get
picture of
those.
it.
Get those Celia in your popcorn buckets so you feel real.
But yeah, we had the museum, and then we got a zoo membership, which we got a good deal on because they were having like a weird special. Plus, like I had a gift card from work. I was like,
Nice.
okay, that's what's up.
Nice.
And Hollywood membership.
Yeah, I feel like there's something else now.
I don't know. It's just we've hit the point in our lives where it's like, no, you have memberships everywhere. A car wash, yeah, you got a car wash membership.
You guys can get jackets now for your members.
With patches of everywhere we have.
I just meant just a members only jacket.
I know, but now I'm like, no, I'm just going full Scouts.
I was going to say you're going full NASCAR, but also you never go full NASCAR.
But yeah, trying to think. I'm like outside of zoos and museums and theme parks. It's like what?
Oh my!
What else is going on? I don't know. I don't think anything.
Casey, you had anything going on?
It seems like there's always stuff going on, but nothing accomplished at the end of it.
Yeah, that's being an adult.
Yeah, indeed. For sure. Cutting meat. That's about it.
Ah, yes. Cutting
Casey,
meat.
So Casey has become a moil. Good for him.
Mm.
Did I share that one thing with you guys that like a story or reel or whatever the crap it is now? I can't remember where it was from. But the guy was like, being an adult is just waking up and wishing you had 12 more hours of sleep. And then like it's like this whole thing, and he's like, and you're like, I'll tell myself I'm gonna go to bed earlier tonight. And then you stay up late to do whatever it is. And he's like, and you go to bed and you're the most awake you've ever been in your life. And you sit there and think about every mistake that you've ever made. And then it's like, you eventually go to sleep and then you wake up wishing you had 12 more hours of sleep. He's like, that's being an adult. That is everything. It's just on repeat. It's like, that's sad, like heartbreakingly true.
Indeed.
Yeah. I'm gonna say like there's a whole lot of just rinse. Well, in fairness, medication has helped some of that for me.
Mm.
They're like, oh, would you like something to help for anxiety too? Yes, please.
I had that.
Just tap that in there too. We'll just do I snort it or do I I needed to get into the brain as quickly as possible.
At some point they're just like, it's up to you. Whatever you're
Just here, just take this spoon, cook down your pill, and then shoot it straight into.
Oh God! So no, that just reminded
me of his
me.
heroin days.
It's like, what's
No, so my YouTube consumption habits have strayed off. So no, I've hit points. So I usually just consume everything Simon Whistler puts out, but Fact Boy has been slowing down, so I've consumed it all. And I'm like at work. I'm like, well, I've got to put it on something. I need something rambling in my ear. And where I usually go to Casual Criminalist, because that's one he updates 3 times a week, usually without fail. And so my YouTube feed has started to be like, oh, you like true crime? I'm like, not really. But one thing that did pique my interest when it started serving me interrogation footage.
Oh no!
And it was specifically interrogation footage from cases they'd talked about on Casual Criminalist. And I'm like, oh, I was like, I'd like to get some more background into this. And so I started and then it just spiraled off into like body cam footage. And now it has completely destroyed my feed.
Gone into snuff films.
Yeah, pretty much. And because it got to a point to where they were, it was cops responding to a call at a hotel where someone had decided to snort their antipsychotics. And I'm like, oh, good. And that's the episode. Like they're trying to snort antipsychotics, and then they went crazy and destroyed the room. I was like, yeah, that's when I was like, I've made a grave error.
Gotten too far. Dug too deep into the algorithm.
Yeah, I was like, we have to find a way to trick the algorithm into giving me my old life back.
Okay.
How
Yeah.
about you?
Had a it's been a slower month, I guess. Had a zoo trip, got engaged, did some good stuff at work.
The usual.
Yeah, the usual.
Very
Yeah, no. Went to the zoo with some old friends of mine who are also friends of my fiance, who apparently never decided to introduce us. Despite me knowing the husband since we were 5, and her knowing his wife since they were in college. Anyway,
Look, they knew what they were doing.
mhm.
They
Well
were
played. Well, we get to the zoo. She is also a zoo member, so we got in early and took her to kind of went roaming around and went to the lions. And my friend and his 2 sons have been very invested in this, and they have created Operation Put a Ring on It. So we were discussing plans, which were essentially amounted to I'm going to need the boys to distract her, someone take pictures or video, and I will come up behind him. I just have to give him the signal. And my friend's like, "What's the signal?" And I was like, We'll do the thing from the sting, and we'll just do this." So just before we go into the park, I'm doing like the little finger on the nose thing. Before we go into the park, his youngest looks up and goes like, "Okay, so when you do that," and he does the thing. He's like, it means that's the sign. And I just went, "It is." However, she's standing. So she wasn't right next to me, but she was like, she was in my eye shot. Like, she is right over there. So maybe don't do that right now. He's like, "Oh, okay." So we get over to the lions. She's looking at the exhibit, looking at them because one of them's out, kind of just lounging next to the window, and I sneak up behind her, tap her on the shoulder. She does not turn around, so I have to go up again, and she turns around. She goes, "Oh!" And the first thing she says is, "How long have you had this?" Because we did go out ring shopping. Like, we just went out, and so she knew what she wanted. She picked it up, and they told me it would be about 2 weeks. And then I started lying almost immediately after that, saying it was going to take longer. Didn't have to lie that much. They were a little delayed on it, so we didn't get it until like the week of. And I was like, okay, I only have to lie for a week. I can get through this. But she was pretty excited. We had a good time. And she took pictures of her ring in front of every animal display at the zoo.
Obviously, yeah. That's
So
I wish we had gotten the clip ready from Mallrats. Where are you going to propose? When Jaws pops out of the water. The most romantic thing I've ever heard.
well, one of the things when I went down, when I was planning to get down there, I had the ring, and it came in a box that's like, massive. And I was like, I can't hide this. So I take the ring out, I stick it in my pocket, and I go look in the mirror real quick, and I go, no, you can see that kind of poking out of my pants pocket. Drop it into, I put on a shirt, put on a like with a pocket on it, like put it in there. It's like, no, it sticks out a little bit too. So I had to put it in my
pierced like this.
yeah. I had to hide it in my sock band. Like I wear like tall 2 tube socks, and
Okay.
Did you like roll it over to make sure it didn't like fall out?
it was like a good inch into the sock,
Mm.
and the things came up pretty high. So and I was thinking, you're being silly, but you know what? I've already done it. It's fine. She told me like as we're walking away from the proposal, she was like, I was literally looking at your pants and your shirt to see if you were hiding a ring anywhere. And I knew it. I was like, it was in my sock. And she just went, holy crap.
I mean, I feel like that's just extra points.
Mhm.
It's in my
Well
sock.
done.
We'll get you some athlete's foot cream.
She expected me to do it in front of Fiona the hippo. And I knew there were going to be too many people over there. So I did
Yeah.
it near the
Oh, yeah.
lions. There were still people there. So after she got the ring and put it on, they all started applauding. And I looked around and went, oh, thanks. Sorry. Forgot you guys were here.
Man, no.
I mean, that's good though.
that whole area is terrible at the zoo. I like, especially if the lions are
You can't
actually,
move.
yeah, up at the glass. It's like no, it's like 80 people deep, and like there's always someone like throwing elbows. Like old ladies are out there throwing elbows, like trying to hit little kids out of the way. Like I'm gonna see those lions.
Thankfully, it was early, so there weren't only like other like zoo members, so it wasn't that bad. But yeah, yeah, that was the main of it.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We're getting married later this year, so lots of fun planning.
How much Billy Idol are you playing for her?
You know, I could make the joke and she wouldn't get it because there's like whole decades of music she doesn't know.
Oh man.
You
Yeah,
guys are in a different headspace music wise.
yeah, 100%.
But I mean that's common. I feel like that's a thing. That happens.
It's fine. She asked when we went down to I asked when we went down to the Dropkick show. I was like, "Look, I'm going to put this offer out here. You do not have to come. But if you would like to come down, you can." And she's like, "Well, I haven't really heard him. Can I listen to some of it?" I was like, "Okay, sure." Get in the car. I put it on, and she just goes, "Mm-mm, nope." And I'm like, "That's fine. You don't have to. This is not everything that I like is something you're going to like, and that's okay."
That's when you put it on like a really. I'm trying to think of what you could have put it on. Like some of their covers of old Irish folk songs or something.
Yeah,
Just
I did put it on. We were listening to it one time because like when I was kind of getting pumped for the concert, I was just listening to more Dropkick Murphys for a while, and I was listening to like the Workers song, and we were going through. Her mom is like a marketing person for some like Chick-fil-A franchises in town, and we were going to one of those, and I went, "Oh, I gotta turn the switch to a different song." And they're like, she's like, "Why?" I was like, "I really don't want your mother to have to. I don't have to explain to your mother why these kids have suddenly gotten pro-union music into their ears and suddenly realizing that, yeah, this sucks."
start an uprising.
Yeah, I was like, no, it blow these poor hapless children's brains.
Out all over the chicken.
Just you'd hear them say, "My pleasure." They just their heads would explode.
The
Every time,
proletariat would be organizing over the chicken.
every time one of them doesn't say "my pleasure" to me, I'm always a little excited. I'm just like, "Good job, stick it to the man." So yeah, that's been this last month for me, and will be the next few months of just frantic wedding planning.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's when you hand it off to the mothers, and as a man, you have no say in this.
I keep trying to tell them that, and they keep disagreeing and saying
Oh,
it's
no,
your
that's-
day too. And I went,
They're
that's
wrong.
crap.
They are wrong because anything you say in the end will be wrong.
Mhm.
So that's what the only. I was consulted on the venue, merely we're looking at this or this. Which one would you prefer? And I would go, well, definitely this.
I mean,
And then it
you
was
ask opinions.
what do you want to wear? And that's where I had 100. I was like, I don't care what you want. This is 100% what me and the guys are doing. It's like, this is going to be it.
Which I was fine with. I
Yeah.
was on board for
It
it.
wasn't a hard fight. Everything else, I was like, okay, you all do whatever. Like I was like, I have no say in this. It's your day. I would just like to look like this on your day.
You know what could make days like that better? Sangrias.
It would have made that day so much better.
Jail's not so bad. You can make sangria in the turlet. Of course, it's shank or be shanked.
Of course.
We almost kept that bit and we're like, oh, okay. Let's just,
I wanted to keep that bit. It surprised me it was not on there.
oh, whatever.
Amy goes,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah, no, we are doing sangrias today. So, for years, sangrias have been gracing red and white picnic cloths in restaurants with outdoor seating. Sangria seems endlessly adaptable, vaguely Spanish, and unmoored from any set traditions. Spanish, more? I see what you're doing there.
Look, I copied this one word for word from an article because I was like, it's too good. Like people like, I was like, until we go over other things, like, so the more bit, that's not even from that article. I had to produce that myself, and I was just like, no, it just works so well. I was like, these two sentences are perfect. Sorry.
Well, traditional sangrias go way back, way back, as wine mixed with whatever was nearby. The origins of the word sangria were used to refer to a drink only go back to the 1800s, but the roots of the practice were being planted by the early Romans and Greeks, because of course they were. Spiced wine was popular in the Roman Empire. Not the first time I've thought about the Roman Empire today, by the way.
Well, no, it's
Yes. As recorded by the writings of Pliny the Elder and Apicius, in the 12th century, a spiced wine named Pieman or Piment was mentioned by Christian de Troyes. We're going to go with Chrétien.
yep, that word.
During the 13th century, the city of Montpellier had a reputation for trading spiced wines with England. The first recipe for spiced wine made an appearance at the end of the 13th century. Recipes for red wine and red wine.
Why don't we have that as a clip at this point? Like, what are we even doing?
We're nearly a decade into this and have never clipped that. So
Or at least, like, okay, hold on. I've got a plan that I need to hatch.
let that sink in. We're almost at a decade.
Yeah, well,
I-
red wine.
I don't
it
believe
makes me
that.
feel
That's
so
unreal.
fine. Anyway, the recipe for red wine and piment found in the Tractatus de Modo, or at the beginning of the 14th century. Since the 1390s, the recipe for piments has also been called Hippocras or Hippocrates. Hippocrates. No Bill and Ted love for an adapted.
It is so great. Yeah.
It is so great, yes, but
You know, I never saw the third one.
it's fun.
I want to really bad because that's one of those ones you're like, no, that was like after John Wick, and they
He was like, it's like,
was
sorry.
like, yeah, I'll do it. George Carlin's dead, but I'll do it.
that is the real thing. There is like George
No
Carlin.
Rufus.
Yeah. Oh, real quick. Apparently, Keanu Reeves was on a late night show years back for like one of the Wick movies, and he was saying how he asked George Carlin for an autograph, and he said, "Dear Keanu Reeves, go f- yourself." And he was like, "Oh wow, this is great!" And apparently, he found out that George Carlin wrote that to all kinds of people, which he was like, that somehow makes me feel better.
And then somebody's like, no, it's framed. I keep it above my
Yeah.
bed. It's the first thing I see every morning. Keeps me grounded.
Hippocrates is likely the common ancestor of both sangria and mulled wine, and was drunk everywhere because water was a bacteria-filled and unsafe to drink. As I thought I was about to say, water was a bacteria-filled nightmare,
Yeah, basically.
and someone was always pooping upstream.
Yep. There was no such thing as safe water at that point because we had not learned to boil everything first.
What's the it's very much the it's like, I'm not drinking that water. Fish fucking it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh no, that even goes Rocco's Modern Life. What was it? Filbert was like, "Oh, the fish are spawning in it,"
Yes.
and it shows two fish like embracing each other and kissing, and then like fish eggs start popping up around them.
Well, a touch of alcohol made liquid drinkable and clean, and mixing watered down wine gave it flavor. People who lived in modern day Spain were doing something similar with grapevines planted by the Phoenicians around 1100 BC. And then, with the vines planted by Romans thereafter. But in the 700s, Spanish wine business, and by extension the Spanish sangria business, faltered. Islamic Moors conquered the peninsula in 711, and sangria did not return to the Moors' rule ended in 1492. Yeah, they're very not fond of alcohol.
Yeah, kind of strict about that sort of thing.
Who are the Moors? You mean the Moops? No Seinfeld jokes for anyone? Okay. Two of us in particular would love to blab about this interesting period of Spanish history, but it's a bit much, so let's sum it up like this. Take it away.
It's too much.
It's too
Let's sum
much.
up.
Let me
So, all right, this is unless you're like I don't know, you gotta be a bigger history nerd than us to be really into this. But it is a very interesting period of Spanish history. So the Spanish occupation by the Moors began in 711 AD when an African army under their leader, I thought I gave you all the bad ones. Tariq ibn Ziyad.
Zayed.
Crossed the Strait of Gibraltar from northern Africa and invaded the Iberian Peninsula. And I love being able to say Iberia. Makes me happy.
Mm-hmm.
They were fierce horse-mounted warriors, and according to accounts of the time, they broke Goth lines, yes, those Goths, in many battles in under an hour. The Moors, who ruled Spain for 800 years, introduced new scientific techniques to Europe, such as an astrolabe, a device for measuring position of the stars and planets, if you're not familiar. Scientific progress in astronomy, chemistry, physics, mathematics, geography, and philosophy flourished in Moorish Spain. The Moors introduced paper to Europe and Arabic numerals, which replaced the clumsy Roman system. But most importantly, to our topic today, the Moors introduced many new crops, including the orange, lemon, peach, apricot, fig, sugarcane, dates, ginger, and pomegranate, as well as saffron, sugarcane, cotton, silk, and rice, which remain some of Spain's main product today.
Could have got that all the way to France if it wasn't for Charles Martel coming down there and going, nope, no further.
Here's the line.
Tours. Stay out.
But no, it's crazy to look at that and be like, so it was them coming in saying no alcohol, and it caused, these massive cultural and scientific advancements because no one had anything else to think about.
Say, isn't that a Family Guy joke early on where like he stops drinking for a while and all of a sudden they're like, just wildly productive?
No, they were showing that's they go to the Cultural History Museum when they're trying.
Oh,
to
that's right. It's what
Chris
if Ireland didn't have
shore up, his Irish history, and they're like, oh, what Ireland was like before whiskey, and it's like the Jetsons.
Suddenly someone has one drink that someone made in their basement and they just
they all start punching each other, and then suddenly you see like windows breaking, and it all just goes to shit. But no, like this, when I was researching this, I was reading accounts, and they're talking about what was the Moorish capital of Spain, because it was not the actual capital of Spain, because you got to like this was a country under siege.
Mm-hmm.
But so the Moors had established their own capital, which was the first city in Europe to have street lights.
Mm.
As in every night the lamplighters were out plying their trade.
I don't know why, but it immediately makes me think of like the Bakersville song, like that.
Oh, yeah. But no, that's like when they're like, hey, to deter crime, let's light all the streets at night. And like just all these things. You're like, no, you don't think about that at this period in time.
Well, I mean, this is also kind of important for. Well, I mean, like they were trading some of the technology and whatnot.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is like a very important point for all of the Western world. It's just like, no, here was at the moment when all these advancements came. It was without alcohol. Those poor people.
I was listening to a Hardcore History episode, like an older one, and they were talking about who are the odds-on favorite to discover the Americas first, and it was not Europe for most of history. China would have been a good bet, but you can never tell when they were going to decide for a generation to have a good navy or not, and they wouldn't keep it if they didn't have from one king to the next.
Yeah.
But then like he's like, what about number two? Probably the Islamic people, because they had so much more technology and actually had really good ships for that time. And then they ran into some trouble. And then all of a sudden Europe's like, hey, look at the stuff we stole.
Look at all this stuff these people left. Weird. We can use that.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's also just basically, we would like to get to China for trade.
And not deal with them.
And not have to do the land route. Yeah. But anyway.
So they took all when they kicked them out, they said, all right, we're getting our drink on. What's all this stuff they left behind? We've got oranges and lemons, eggs, sugar.
How do we ferment this?
Yeah. Let's just put it all in a big pot. So in the 1700s and 1800s, a style of sangria was made in England and France using traditionally French grapes. There was also white sangria, which I think is heresy. Sparkling sangria, also heresy. And sangria made with peaches, which is called Zaracapote, but it's abbreviated as Zura a lot of times.
I thought you were going to say Bellini.
So this is one of the ones I tried to chase this down. I was like, ooh, I was like, I want to know more about this. That's all there is. that sentence. That's all I can find on Zura.
Zura Capote.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, it's literally just a peach sangria. Okay.
It's the favorite drink of Truman Capote.
The drink in all its forms had flashes of popularity in the U.S., in Spanish restaurants, and certain city alcoves. But the current craze for sangria in the U.S. dates back to the 1964 World's Fair in New York City, because of course it does. Spain's sponsored pavilion featured the drink, and Americans have been thirsty for sangria ever since. And that's, I'm like, yes, that's basically where you had a lot of the first generation of a lot of cultural milestones hitting U.S. people for the first time. So from there, it's like, oh, here's the first wave of a lot of this stuff. Because isn't that when? That's when we had the second wave. Was that second wave of tiki?
Yeah, I think so.
Because first wave was after World War II.
Yeah, because
So I was thinking, I thought it was like the mid 60s is when we had second wave, because we're currently like I think Casey was the one who speculated we're in like the fourth or fifth wave of tiki culture, really making a huge resurgence.
They just opened up a brand new tiki restaurant in Orlando. I mean, you don't open new ones if it's a
Does mean it's okay.
industry.
Does it mean it's okay for me to buy Hawaiian shirts again?
Oh, they're everywhere right now too.
I've been buying them like crazy. They're
I keep seeing some, like when I'm out, sometimes I just went, I want one.
an aside. I'm upset. We were at Target today and going through the kids section, and they have little Pokemon Hawaiian shirts
Yeah.
for the kids, and I'm like, damn it, I want one of these. Had like all the Kanto starters on it, and I'm just like, I want this shirt.
They don't know the Kanto starters.
No, they felt like crap though.
They didn't feel comfy.
I was like, no, these are like straight linen or something.
We were at,
and make the nipples raw.
We were at Target yesterday, and I saw those and did not buy them because of the material.
Yeah, I was telling him, I was like, once you go to Roosevelt's, apparently it just ruins everything.
Well,
I got
burlap is a very
men's section. They had big Kirby Hawaiian shirts. It just, I think it was like pink the shirt was purple with Kirby's all over it. And I was like, I want it. And then I grabbed it and felt it. And I was like, I don't want it.
Hey, burlap is a very functional material.
Not on your nipples.
Not with that attitude.
All right. Well, the easiest way to think of modern day sangria is as a wine punch. Yeah. Often involving fruit and other alcohols. But it's most important to note that there's no standard recipe in Spain. As a result, the complex and delicious sangria you might be expecting could likely lead to disappointment. While cocktail culture has flourished in the US and other countries in recent decades, the Spanish cocktail scene still lags behind.
So
and although,
if I go to, I was going to say, so if I go to Spain, I can say, it's like, oh no, we got you your favorite thing. Disappointment.
Disappointment at a huge markup.
Although Madrid has some great cocktail joints nowadays, this wasn't always the case. So while every bar and restaurant in the US is serving up specialties like white wine, passion fruit, mango sangria, or spiced sparkling strawberry sangria, Spain is still stuck in a rut. Establishments know that tourists expect sangria, so you'd better bet they'll serve something by that name. But more often than not, you're getting overcharged for a much cheaper and very popular Spanish drink called Tinto de Verano.
It's called Spanish for screw the tourist.
Yeah. Hit them in the wallets.
Tinto de Verano is simply red wine, ice, and either lemon soda or casera, artificially sweetened soda water.
Can you have naturally sweetened soda water?
Yeah.
And apparently a lot of restaurants.
They're just like LaCroix.
A lot of restaurants around here do this for their brunches also, because
I bet.
Talking to people when I told them what I was researching, and that like they started shouting out recipes, and all of them had to say, that you put some kind of soda water or something in it. And then halfway through my research, I'm like, no. I was like, so like they're not actually drinking sangria. This is what they're drinking.
So as a result, oh god. Okay. Sorry. Actually, it's Where am I even at? It's delicious, but it's delicious and actually what many Spaniards drink instead of sangria, but many visitors are unfamiliar with it. As a result, in many Madrid restaurants, the barman adds a splash of vermouth and a couple of slices of orange to a glass of tinto de verano, then charges double for their quote house sangria.
That's just enterprising.
Yeah, I mean, that's America right there. But why don't many Spanish bars offer real sangria? There are two main reasons. The first is good sangria needs time to let the fruit macerate and so that the wine can soak up all the delicious flavors. In Spain's fast paced bar culture, this isn't realistic. The second reason is the fact that sangria simply isn't in demand among locals, at least when they go out. If anything, sangria is enjoyed at home for weekend barbecues and other events with friends and family. Much like alcoholic punch, common in English speaking countries, sangria is more of a party drink in Spain and not something you would really order out at a bar.
Basically, it's grape drink.
Grape drink.
So you're not
What
not
I'm-
really drinking it all the time. Like, oh, I'm off work. I need some grape drink. It's like, no. That's when you really need to get lit.
So what I'm hearing is that you have to let fruit macerate and soak into the alcohol that you've added in there. Casey, I believe the hooch we made with our friend Matt many years ago was technically a sangria.
Pretty sure it was. Pretty sure it was. Even though bacon. is
Even though
not
it tasted
the ingredient.
wasn't an ingredient, sure had that flavor.
Sometimes you just want a little bacon in your hooch.
Look, that makes me want to not look up what bug would have given it a bacony flavor. What causes a bacon off flavor?
I really should ask some. I now have questions.
Well, from its history as a Roman necessity to a fun drink for social events today, sangria has certainly come a long way, making it.
Oh, it's the Virginia Slims of drinks.
Oh, do they make Virginia Slims anymore?
I don't know. I don't smoke. I just know the ad of like, you've come a long way, baby.
I'll go ask our neighbors downstairs. They'll know.
Well, making it at home is easy, fun, and as you're hearing now over the mic, delicious. It's perfect for parties, and there are some great recipes to discover. First, let's jump into a classic red sangria. So we're going to start with a full standard 750 milliliter bottle of red wine. Grenache is suggested. It's going to give you a little bit more kind of sweet wine. Whenever I was first starting for today,
Sweet wine.
I had a Bordeaux, but that's more of the classic, like not fruity, like more stone fruity, or not stone fruit, minerally, leather maybe, where you may not want a leathery sangria. That may have been the reason for the bacon smell. You never know.
Oh, sorry, leathery sangria. Just it's.
Toss into it about 4 ounces of brandy because wine is not alcoholic enough. You need to increase the alcohol content of this.
Look, when I was looking at the recipe as making this, I was like, and right before I started drinking, I was like, I've got to eat something more. Because what was it we said in the pre-shows? Yo, dog, heard you like wine.
I got wine in your wine made of wine.
Wine concentrate.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a good way to describe brandy. We need to like just that's my new way of describing brandy. It's wine concentrate.
It's in like one of those frozen Minute Maid things that you get.
Yeah.
If only.
You know how cold would it have to be to freeze a
44
block of brandy?
It is cold. Add to that 3 ounces of simple syrup. Sweet.
30 ounces of simple syrup.
30 ounces. This is America.
Diabetes.
And then get you a cup of mixed chunks of like fruits out there, like seeded oranges, lemons, and limes. Add some ice, combine it all in the pitcher, refrigerate. Excuse me. You're going to want to go 4 to 8 hours, kind of probably the minimum level there. And then serve it over ice in glasses. Next up, you've got your hard cider version. So we're going to do a cup of quartered and thinly sliced unpeeled green, yellow, and red apples. Navel orange, quartered, thinly sliced crosswise so that you get that circular look. Sorry, the like quarter circle look. You want a lot of surface area on there. Cup of apple juice that's chilled down. You're going to want 2 tablespoons of lemon juice in there for a little bit of acidic bite. A quarter cup of apple brandy, again. And then a 22-ounce bottle of hard apple cider that's been chilled. You want to add all this together in a pitcher, and then the hard cider will go in last. You'll top it right as you're getting ready to actually serve it, so that your brandy's really soaking in all the fruit flavors, and your cider is there just to kind of bring it all to. I guess you could say the cider's there to water it down a bit.
If you have to be like an apple simp because that is holy Jesus.
It's a lot of apples. That's Johnny Appleseed's drink of choice.
It really is. I do like that fact that you're doing like the apple juice for your sweetness. Like it's a juice that brings you some flavor with sweetness there too. So I'm good with that.
Sorry, I'm just thinking of the crazy amount of like, what else could you add to this? Or like, you're like, oh, we're gonna add some apple cider to cut it down, and I'm just like, no, you've done too much.
We heard you like apples. Out of nowhere, it's like apple cider vinegar.
Oh,
That's what happens if you sit it out too long.
I mean, instead of the lemon juice, realistically, you could get your acidity from apple cider vinegar.
Also, my dad drinks apple cider vinegar like every day. Like at this point, I don't think he even reacts. He's just like,
It's just a thing now. I found a passion fruit shooter. I'm going to add that to my sangria. Next up,
I heard that as passion fruit gusher, and I was like, wait, one, they make those, and two, why are you putting gushers in your sangria?
So before we had to cancel our recording last week, I was about to like do some kind of heresy like that when it was like, oh crap, we don't have time to make a good sangria. So I was about to just start throwing Skittles and punch into it.
Yeah, sorry. This would have come out to you sooner, but my spine didn't like last week. That's what I forgot to talk about in our top of the show stuff.
I just chalk it up to this is the post engagement back pain.
Literally walking to my bathroom, tried to stretch mid-step and just felt something pop and went, oh no!
We're at that age.
Apparently, I keep tension in my shoulder blades.
You can't stretch in the mornings. You have to be very careful in the mornings, and at this age, and you can't trust a fart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. Today was literally the entire day. It was just me walking around, going like, "Oh, Justin, can you get that? I'm saving my back today. I have to record."
I skipped the gym on Friday and bent over slightly too stiff in the knees to pick up an empty backpack. And then there went my spine.
My spinal injuries have always been laundry based. It's the jerk and twist motion of putting from one to the other that gets me. Yep.
Mine are usually airplane based, but this one was new.
Well, I mean, technically, the airplane was well gone out of the situation whenever.
They're gravity based. She's a harsh mistress.
Casey, tell me about a watermelon sangria.
watermelon sangria, you get 2 pounds. 2 pounds of seedless watermelons, peeled and cubed up, plus a half pound of watermelon cut into balls with melon baller, not to be confused with the corn baller, and skewered on picks. This will be your garnish.
So I'm already thinking, here's my idea. Already thinking of, all right, never mind. Hollow out your watermelon. Use that to store your sangria. That's your
Your
pitcher.
punch bowl.
Yeah.
Although I do like the idea of like putting a spigot in it too. A screw-in spigot.
Yeah.
We could do this. All right, you're going to add in a blender this watermelon cube, then a.
No, wait, did we go over the wine, vodka, and whatever else?
I'll get there.
Okay.
So you're going to add all this watermelon, 2 pounds of seedless watermelon, into a blender and puree it up, and then you're going to pour that through a fine strainer into a pitcher. Then you're going to add a bottle of dry white wine, 6 ounces of vodka, 4 ounces of Cointreau or other triple sec. Today I'm using the one by Patron because tequila works well. And then 4 ounces of a citrus syrup. Then you're going to stir and refrigerate for at least 2 hours. Stir again, then pour the sangria into an ice-filled white wine glass and garnish with the skewered watermelon balls. To make that citrus syrup, I would say you could probably add in some like citrus fruits or some citrus zest to a simple syrup and probably get it that way. But a really cool way that I've seen about making citrus-based syrups is to actually take your citrus peels, put them into your sugar, and they will actually like leach out the oils. And then once you've taken that and it's had a chance to leach the oils into the sugar, I think it's called like an oleosaccharin, you can take that and then make your simple syrup out of it and make a citrus syrup that way.
So, sorry, this is not related to sangrias, but the making your simple syrup made me think of this. My fiance and her family have a method for making their own vanilla extract. They buy some. They buy a big bottle of vodka and toss some vanilla beans in it, and let it sit for a few months, and then they get a giant bottle of vanilla, like 750 milliliters of vanilla.
It'll do it.
It'll
got
get
that.
you drunk.
We got that to gave that to my mother for Christmas, and she was like, "Justin, did you give me alcohol?" I was like, "Nope. Hold on, you see that in there? It's vanilla. It'll be good to use by February."
Oh wait, that'll be.
Or then it'll get you drunk.
You can always get it if you drink more of it now, though. You'll get more concentrated vanilla flavor.
Yeah.
Go ahead and drink half of it now, Mom. It's just better for the vanilla.
Dad'll thank me.
Oh.
Will he?
Speaking of throwing your back out, pineapple sake sangria. There you go. Haha.
Pineapple.
So when I
No. I'm sorry. I'm still grossed out by the throw your back out.
When I saw a sake sangria, I was like, nope, we got to throw this in for our crowd.
For sure.
I'm down.
Do in a small saucepan, bring water to a boil, about 3/4 of a cup, with sugar and jalapeno.
Jalapenos.
3/4 of a cup of sugar, so simple syrup, basically,
Jalapeno.
and 1 jalapeno that's been thinly sliced crosswise. Stir to dissolve the sugar, and then let cool completely. Then strain the syrup and discard that leftover jalapeno. In a large pitcher, then combine that jalapeno syrup plus pineapple juice, about 4.5 cups of it, and then a 750 milliliter bottle of dry filtered sake. And then you're going to stir that well. Refrigerate it until it's well chilled, so about an hour, and then serve the sangria over ice in tumblers garnished with warm pineapple and mint. That's what I'm missing. I should have got mint.
Ooh.
I have it in the garden outside. I should have just went and got some. Oh well.
There are so many sangrias, though. Like, just go out there on a wild internet journey to find one that speaks to you.
Wine plus fruit plus a fortifying liquor. You're about good. All right. Under European law, the use of sangria in commercial or trade is now restricted under geographical labeling rules. The European Parliament approved new labeling laws by a wide margin in January of 2014, protecting indications for aromatized drinks, including sangria, vermouth, glue wine. I guess. Glue wine.
I don't want to drink wine from glue.
Horse wine.
Horse wine.
If only. That is not wine coming out of that horse.
Oh.
All right. Only
Milk
saying
a cow. We don't have any cows. We have a bull. Cut to Woody Harrelson with a quotes milk mustache.
Mm-hmm.
well, only sangria made in Spain and Portugal is allowed to be sold as sangria in the EU. Sangria made elsewhere must be labeled as such as German sangria or Swedish sangria.
Oh, German sangria sounds so official.
If it's not from Spain or Portugal, it's just sparkling fruit soup.
Muscatel.
I feel like if you're having a sangria, you have to be in somewhere like Mediterranean.
I feel like a German sangria is just a what are those lambics?
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently, Mexican sangrias are a big thing in the U.S.
That could be
So
That's probably really good.
I can get behind that.
I guess it's technically not a sangria, but
Well, in the EU, it's
It's a
not.
Mexican sangria.
EU has a lot of weird rules. Okay, let's calm down.
Well, the definition of sangria under European Union law, according to the 2014 regulation, states that it is, number one, an aromatized wine-based drink, which is obtained from wine, which is aromatized with the addition of natural citrus fruit extracts or essences, with or without the juice of such fruit, to which spices have been added, carbon dioxide may have been added, has not been colored, has an alcohol strength by volume of not less than 4.5% alcohol and less than 12% alcohol by volume, which may contain solid particles of citrus fruit pulp or peel, and its color must come exclusively from the raw materials used. So no artificial colorings, technically no natural colors, just no colorings added other than, the fruit. Sangria or sangria may be used as a sales denomination only when the product is produced in Spain or Portugal. When the product is produced in other member states, sangria or sangria may be made only be used to supplement the sales denomination, aromatized wine-based drink. So more or less, you would have to say German sangria, aromatized wine-based drink. And then it has to be accompanied by the words produced in ... You pick the member state that it's produced in and go there.
I say we do this for bourbons not from Kentucky. Aromatized corn-based drink produced in New York or wherever.
It's about the way it goes.
Make it sound as unappealing as possible.
I saw a bottle of Widow Jane the other day at the grocery store, and it had not changed price in the 10 years it's been since it was which I originally saw it. Which also,
it was probably that original 10-year-old bottle.
I was gonna say it's the same bottle. It's been shelf aged.
Yeah, I'm like
fluorescent light aged.
Ain't nothing growing in there. All right. So with sangria, what's everybody drinking today?
Sparkling Muscatel, one of the finest wines of Idaho.
Would you taste it for us, please?
Excellent choice.
Should be for 95 cents.
It is weird to have used. I don't know. I guess it depends. Not everybody's drinking to style, I assume. So yeah, the sangria clip could have worked anywhere, really.
Mm-hmm.
But
we have a chance to get, because that's from the original Muppet movie, correct?
Correct.
It's coming back to theaters this year to celebrate the anniversary. of the release, so we could go watch that on the big screen and see
Yes.
Steve Martin in those tiny shorts.
Short shorts. Who likes short shorts?
Still have to watch the Steve Martin thing on Apple TV Plus. Docu series or whatever.
Can I buy Muscatel? Are there real?
Can you make it sparkling?
Are there real Idaho Muscatels?
I'm sure there
I
are.
desperately need there to be. Anyway, so yeah, we're drinking to style. Straight up
Yay.
making sangria.
Yeah, last night it soaked for about 24 hours in those fruits. So we did.
It smelled amazing.
Fruit.
The wine we used, because we decided to make a traditional red, and the wine was, I don't know, it started with a T. I can't remember.
Tempranillo.
Tempranillo.
I can't not think of the thing from Adam Ruins Everything.
Oh yeah.
Tempranillo.
So yeah, I had some issue finding it, but everything was just like, if you spend more than $10 on a bottle of wine to make sangria, you're doing it wrong.
2 bottles of wine.
So yeah, I got some cheap Tempranillo, and then what was it? An orange, a Granny Smith apple, some strawberries, lime, and we sweetened it with orange juice, like a couple
Simply orange. Yeah.
a cup of orange juice instead of simple syrup. And then we used brandy, half a cup of brandy. Now we have a 3/4 full bottle of brandy.
This is how you end up with brandy on the shelf.
Yeah, it happened to us before.
Yep.
I remember us being stuck with a bottle of brandy for years, and we never drank it, and we were gonna move and had to like dump it out.
There is now I'm just trying to think of a Hawaiian sangria
Oh,
that tastes like Hawaiian punch.
Oh, yeah. I am not opposed and think it's actually quite a good idea to add Kool-Aid packets into your sangria. I mean, it's certainly not purist by any means,
You're just gonna get smashed.
but
drinking it.
simple syrup, you got fruit flavors in there. Hawaiian punch is basically a kiddie version of sangria.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
You add, instead of water, you add wine and brandy.
Need to make it like my aunt used to make Kool-Aid, which is like for one packet you add about 4 cups of sugar.
Why not?
So your aunt's exactly
Wow.
like I was in college. I would go buy a bag of sugar, and I had a little 1 liter, I don't know, like Rubbermaid container thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I would put a packet of Kool-Aid in there. I would do 4 scoops. I don't know what my scooping tool was. Like I look back, I'm like, what was I using? Like I don't know, but I'd do 4 scoops of sugar and a
Hands,
packet
just
of
what was this?
Kool-Aid, and I'd shake it up, just drink out of that.
His scoop was a supersized McDonald's cup.
There was no kitchen in our dorm building, so I was just filling the thing up in the bathroom.
It was like stirring that thing with a wooden spoon, like to fill up a pitcher, was like molasses for the first like 4 or 5. Just go, start.
It was like after you've eaten all the Cheerios, then you're just scooping up all the sugar at the bottom in the milk.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're like, good Lord, how have I not made cream at this point?
Oh, sugar milk. Yeah. So sangria good? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was afraid I'd be absolutely hammered by this point, but turns out having someone to split it with is a good idea, because I think we've drank all of it. Now we've got like an empty jug of alcoholic fruit.
I was gonna say,
Oh, delicious.
this is.
We didn't have a pitcher.
I mean, it worked out, honestly.
Yeah.
It's really good. I mean, I don't know.
It's a giant water jug I got from my company to keep
Nice.
water in. And I was like, you know what? We're going to fill it with sangria.
Nice.
I never used to like sangria, but like legit, this is really tasty.
Maybe you just didn't like those sangrias.
Well, perhaps.
Those Mexican sangrias, which aren't sangria.
By the EU's law.
So now, like my mind is calling back to the first sangria I had was some kind of weird bottled sangria at a Mexican restaurant. So I'm just like, no, that is very much a thing here. Why is it a thing?
Yeah.
Don't know. Well, I've had a couple drinks tonight. First, I found I still had some Two Hearted in the fridge, so
You missed
eased
sangria
in-
with it.
eased into the night with a little bit Two Hearted IPA. Made me feel good. Then broke out some Evan Williams 1783 small batch. And my God, is this smooth. It's so good. But yeah,
A lot of people sleep on Evan Williams. I like it.
No,
I have Casey to thank for getting me onto it because I slept on it for years and years. And Casey's like, no, that you've made a grave error in judgment.
it's good bang for your buck.
That's the key.
Used to be better bang for your buck, but they found out they learned that we learned how good it was, and like, oh
yeah, there's no more sleepers. Like you can't.
No.
There's no more going down and be like, oh, for $20 you can get this bottle that is at the level of something that's like 60 or above. It's like, nope, all those bottles are now like almost $60. And it's like, well, shit.
Tough luck.
yeah.
Enjoy paying for what you get.
But yeah, I did not have time to make up sangria batch the last couple days, so I
mean,
just
it
was
was
like,
a thing, to be fair.
yeah. So I was like, no, we're just doing whiskey tonight.
I had to slam an energy drink last night and sit up and watch X-Men 97 and slice.
I'm almost through the original X-Men show, so I can start 97.
You don't even have to. You don't have to go through the whole. Like they prep you for everything.
I didn't
They give
say
you a
I
nice
had.
previously on X-Men.
I'm not saying I had to. I'm saying I chose to.
But it's so good. Like
I'm sure it is. It's just, it was just a nice walk down memory lane for a lot of it. It's actually better than I thought it was for some stuff. The animation style, especially in some episodes, is actually much better than I remember. Some of the others, not as much, but
well, the
still,
later seasons, isn't the last season or no? It was like season 4. They thought they were done and they fired all the artists, and then it was like, oh no, wait, we got an order for like another 2 seasons, and they're like, oh crap.
I think it's season 4. They thought they were done, and then season 5 they wanted them to do a whole season. They cut their budget in half.
Yeah, and they only had like 2 of the original artists, and they're just like doing their best.
So, but still the best Dark Phoenix adaptation that you're ever going to you're going to find.
Oh yeah,
just haven't done it right since.
And they need to stop trying. I don't need them to try again. Leave that one in animation. Let that be where it lives.
No, if you're gonna do it, go whole hog. Like the last time they did it, they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll bring in aliens this time." You didn't go weird enough. Did they come in with a giant bug mask to reveal Xavier's new hot alien space boo? No, you're not going weird enough.
That makes a comeback in X-Men 97.
It's
nothing quite as sexy as that bug mask.
There's a lot of stuff in this.
I did see a clip of Nightcrawler and Wolverine fighting together, and he's
Nightcrawler's pretty fantastic.
So I will say this: X-Men
Nightcrawler's always
97
fantastic.
is 1000% not for kids, and that's like not in a like.
Oh really?
Oh
yeah.
Don't do
I
it.
thought it was like
What?
just a kind of
No,
like
it's
a
for the
redo of the original.
no,
Yeah,
it's
but
for
no.
it's for the same people who watched the original one. It keeps up from where it left off,
Yeah.
from what I understand. And then
Oh.
but they know those people have grown up, so they kept the timeline the same. But they're like, all right, blood now.
There is lots of
and
blood,
other things.
and it gets creepy as fuck. Like, let's just say Mr. Sinister gets to go full comics Mr. Sinister, and things get trippy and weird.
And
And
that one guy, I don't remember the name of that villain. The game thing. Yeah. There's
oh
things.
yeah,
There's just things. That's all.
Well, anyway, Casey, what have you been drinking?
I
We
have
haven't gotten to Casey. Sorry.
no, I have sangria. It starts off with a box wine of some sort, because I mean, if you're going to aromatize it, might as well.
box wine.
I was about to do it, and I was like, oh, Casey's still talking. I'll have to wait.
Started with a Pinot Grigio. It's got strawberries, green apples, kiwi, and mandarin oranges. And then the liquor is rum and citronage, I think it was. Whatever the Patron triple sec is.
Oh yeah, Patron Citron.
Yep. So that is the extent of it. The sweetener comes in the form of, I don't know if it's got one in it actually. Maybe a little bit of juice that came with the orange slices.
Heard it here first. He drank O.J. Simpson's remains.
We watched an OJ documentary the other night.
Chelsea had no idea, really. Like, she knew O.J. Simpson was an alleged murderer. Well, he's dead. Who cares? Confirmed murderer. Who got away, but she really didn't know much more than that. And so I sent her some like little clips and tried to explain what I could, and she was just like, I feel like there's more going on here. I was like,
Can it be? Is it slander now that he's dead? Like, isn't it that you can just say it?
That's what I was saying. Like, oh, it's like, that's what's it. Never mind. He's
the whole idea of libel and slander is that you injure someone so that they can't make money from what you said. So now that he's dead, he can't make money. So there's no injury.
he can't feel it. He's dead.
He's dead, Jim. I'm scrambling trying to find that.
Not a lawyer.
Norm
That was
Macdonald.
my advice.
The Norm Macdonald thing I sent you.
Oh, is it like the thing is like,
He died
Well-
doing what he loved.
oh yes, that's it.
I can't find it. I can't remember.
OJ can rest easy now, knowing his wife's killer is finally at.
No,
finally
it
at
wasn't
rest.
that.
I just no, that's just like the joke that had happened, like everyone made.
I'll find it, and it'll be way too late. And
It's
I
okay.
found it. Okay. So this is a picture of Norm Macdonald, who, if you time travel back, he got fired from SNL because he refused to stop talking about O.J. Simpson.
Oh yeah.
He got fired for perhaps the best joke, which was
Well, he would not let this die because he found it hilarious. And
Well-
someone, like one of the producers at SNL, apparently like knew OJ
no,
and was like trying to stamp
Was-
it out.
wasn't the producer.
Who was
It
it?
was the president of NBC.
Oh,
And when they had a meeting with him and they said, you can't do any more OJ jokes, that weekend the verdict had come out and he says, well, it's official. Murder is legal in California.
it was like, and then Norm tripled down because he was doing the weekend
Weekend
update, and that's all it was until he got fired.
I mean, yeah, that tracks.
Because
though.
that's Norm. But anyway, like when OJ died, former football player and actor OJ Simpson died this week. While some are saying this is a sad time, I think it's nice since he got to go out doing what he loved, being with someone as they died.
Mm,
You could just hear Norm reading it, being with someone as they died.
God,
God, I miss Norm. Why couldn't he have at least made it to this point?
Right? Why couldn't he have outlived OJ?
Mm.
It's the real tragedy.
It is. All right.
Well, today's episode was written by Harry Crayon. That was written by Chris, with sources from Wikipedia, Spanish
Bly?
Sabors? No, Spanish Sabors. I almost read it as Spanish Sabaros. So
It's Sbarro Spanish.
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Vine Pair and foodandwine.com cocktails.
I didn't include it on the sources, but well, I put Wikipedia, but a lot of the Moore's stuff came from a wiki, just because I needed like quick abbreviations of this. And I'm like, look, I can't sum up 800 years of history that fast.
Alrighty. Well, if you would like, you can always get some great resources and follow us at haveadrinkshow.com. What? This mouse is horrible. It goes backwards on the scroll. It wants to go up when you try to scroll down. So I was like, I'm going back to the front. Subscribe and get to great resources at haveadrinkshow.com. Follow us at haveadrinkshow on social media and twitch.tv.
You could tell us your favorite drink, ask a question, or just leave some general feedback. You can use the email address feedback@haveadrinkshow.com, or you can use the feedback page on the website. You can always scream endlessly into the void. I'm there. I'll hear you.
All joking fun aside, I'd like to remind everyone to please drink responsibly. And remember, sometimes you just get sick of the back and you need to go back to the front.
If I didn't already need to label this episode for editing, here we are.
There's a point where she was like, "Oh, I could edit this out."
My brain, as soon as he said it, that's all I was thinking. Only I've got Christopher Lloyd's voice. I'm gonna go back.
Oh, I want to watch Back to the Future tonight.
Back to the
Front.
It's not even that. I mean, it's late, I guess, but it's not even that bad. Anyway. All right. You can check us out. Gosh, it'll be next. I feel like, next month. Next month seems like it's like tomorrow, and it kind of sort of is. Like it's like 2 weeks, but God.
2 weeks.
Yeah, check us out for the June episode. And in case you have seen the site lately change drastically, kind of updated the hosting and stuff, and just kind of trying to shift things around to make more sense and be a little bit more audio podcast focused and all that. So but our store is still up if you are interested in any of that. You can get there through the website or haveadrinkstore.com. Once again, I am Brittany Lee Walker.
I'm Justin Frazier.
I'm Christopher Walker.
I'm Case Price. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Catch you in the back.
I go back to the front.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
That was Casey sitting